This is a story time of the second worst job I've ever had in my life. And when I get into it, you're going to be like, how the hell is this your second worst? Well, I've had worse. And that's bad. I was actually working at a car wash, and I'm feeling like you could probably assume why that might be so terrible. You might be able to assume. In New York, there's this car wash called Delta Sonic, and when you're like 16 through 20, you want to work there so bad because the tips are so good. I was like 22, and my little cousin was bringing in more money than I was, and I was like, how the hell are you making this much money? And she said Delta Sonic tips, and I was like, girl, get me a job. She has me apply, and she gives in a reference, and obviously I get called in for an interview literally right away because it's post-COVID and everyone was hiring right away. I also mentioned that I was leaving the healthcare industry to work at a car wash because I was making more at a car wash. That is terrible. Going for this interview, and the guy that's interviewing me is very clearly trying to get me to work in the detail center, which is not what I wanted to do because you don't make tips there. I'm not an idiot. I've literally had 20 jobs. I can tell when someone's trying to misrepresent what I'm going to be doing, and I was just like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work in the wash, or I'm not going to do anything. He basically ended up informing me that he found me attractive, and then I was hired. So I don't know. That should have probably been my red flag number one, but it wasn't. So my first day comes around and I am like blood in a sea full of sharks. Like all these little ass boys are coming around flirting with me, being very creepy. And I'm just like, been here before, not interested, thank you. It's predominantly a male job. So like obviously any female that works there is going to get excessive amounts of attention and it's actually gross. The place where you actually get the tips is where you wipe down the car. So like the car comes out of the car wash and then you wipe it down, and men are so creepy about it because I don't know what it is. Maybe movies made them feel like it's weird. One day I'm wiping down cars with this like 18-year-old boy who's like 5 foot flat, right? He's a weird kid. Going into this conversation about like paying women for sex, and I was just like, illegal. Also weird that you're talking about that, but okay. He turns around and asks me if I would have sex with him for $10,000. No, babe. And you also would never have that amount of money in your life. Babe, you call in every day. You call in every single fucking day. I tell my little cousin about this incident and she's like, oh my God, that's the boy who tried putting his hands in my pants at work and they didn't fire him. And I'm like, oh, babe, we're getting him fired. Mind you, it's my first week. Like my first week. I tell my manager who's on shift, which happens to be the only female manager in the entire establishment. And she's like, oh yeah, we know he's creepy. Like, will you report it to HR so we can get him fired? And I'm like, abso-freaking-lutely, babe. He ends up actually getting fired. And I'm like, cool beans. This job is actually taking care of harassment claims better than any of the other jobs I've ever worked at. So I thought, right? But that isn't the case. I swear it gets so much worse. Go to part two. Part two of the second worst job I ever worked in my life. And you're probably still thinking, how is this the second worst? Babe, I don't know. I do not know. I think it's because I forgot to share one of those posts on Facebook that say you'll have bad luck, and I just have had bad luck my whole life. After some time of working there, I get told that I can work in the booth, which is like where you make commissions on like memberships. The person who ran the booth was like this like church girl, very praised be, very blessed be the fruit, like yeah. She did not vibe at all. Like she's very praised be and I'm very slay the house down, pussy down boots. Like we're very different. This girl like had it out for me for some reason. I don't know what it was, but she would like lie and say I was manipulating sales, and like she was just rude to me altogether. So I was rude back. Like, you're sorry, we're the same age. You're not gonna treat me like you're like my elder. Ended up getting me taken out of the booth, and no one would tell me why I was out of the booth. They were just like, oh, we're overstaffed. Like you can't be in there. I'm like, I know it's because she doesn't like me. Okay. There was a day where I had a UTI, and I've told you guys like I get UTIs all the time because I hold my pee for like way too long. I like told her I had a UTI. I'm like, I have a UTI. I'm gonna be peeing a lot today, and she literally was like, that's inappropriate. You shouldn't tell me that. What do you mean that's inappropriate, girl? Because I could tell you far worse. I end up telling my manager, like, don't ever put me in there. I don't want to be around her. Like, I don't like her. But I would still visit the booth because that's where my little cousin worked. And I wanted to say hi to her. Keep that in mind. Like, I would still visit her, okay? Keep that in mind. One day I'm working at the exit where you, like, wipe down the cars and make the tips, right? And I'm working there with this other guy who is, like, so cool. I love him. We had this thing where a lot of homeless people would always come up and take our bottles out of our trash can, which is totally fine. Like, that was normal and fine. Do what you gotta do. This one homeless guy comes strolling up next to me, and he's talking to me, and I'm not really understanding what he's saying because I'm, like, busy wiping off cars, you know, doing my job. He's got, like, this phone in his hand and he's like facing it at me, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I want to take a picture with you. I didn't have any TikTok or anything, so there's no way he knew who I was. Like, he just was being a creepy guy. And I'm just like, no thank you, like I'm at work, like you're not allowed to take pictures of me while I'm at work. And he's just taking pictures of me over and over and over again. I'm like, yo, I'm not comfortable with you taking my picture. So then he flips the camera around and he's like facing it this way, and he's like, just take a quick picture with me, like do duck face. And I'm like, no, not gonna happen. And then I'm just like telling him no, like no. And then my manager starts walking by and I'm like, come over here, like get over here quick. My manager literally laughs and is like, and walks away, and I'm like, I'm literally being harassed by this random guy right now, like please come over here. Now this guy starts asking me for like a hug, and I'm like, no, like I don't want to hug you, I don't know who you are, like can you back up? My coworker starts noticing what's going on, and he's like looking at me like really nervously, and I'm looking at him like, yo, help me out here. Out of nowhere, this guy jumps in to try to kiss me on my mouth. Worker sees this and he starts cursing this guy out, and the guy just sprints across the street to the Cricket. Apparently he needed to pay that phone bill. I take a second to go give my cousin a hug and get like comforted by her because I'm like, this is ridiculous. I walk up to the booth and I'm telling her what happened, and I'm like just asking for a hug basically, and that girl that worked in the booth that I didn't like comes in and is like, you need to get out of here. Girl, she's so lucky I didn't throw my hands. She is so lucky. Then like 3 weeks went by and I stopped showing up, and I basically quit and started working at Ulta, and I loved Ulta, and that was one of my favorite jobs.
Guys, it finally happened. I had a customer make me cry today. And I wasn't even crying because I was like offended or like sad. I was just so fucking mad. And he was so rude. But I'm gonna tell the story. Hi, how are you?
Small cappuccino.
Okay, anything else?
Why don't you just let me finish ordering?
Okay, was there something else?
Single shot in a large cup.
Okay, and did you just want it in a large cup just for space on the top?
No, what do you mean space on the top? No.
Okay, so then I'm just wondering why it's in a large cup.
Because I want it extra. Bleh.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Bleh.
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not too sure what you're saying. Can you repeat that for me?
Dry. I want it extra dry.
Yeah, I can totally do the cappuccino extra dry for you. I'm just verifying it's a small in a large cup.
It doesn't matter why it's in a large cup, okay? She knows how to make it, and she's gonna make it for me, so you don't need to be asking me all these questions.
At this point, I start putting together that he wants it in a large cup because he wants the barista on bar to fill the drink all the way up to the top, which would make it a large dry cappuccino, not a small dry cappuccino. Okay. Yeah, I'll have that right out for you.
And I don't know what you mean by this on top. What are you talking about?
I just said, did you want it in a large cup for space on top? Just because the small, is going to fill it up about halfway.
She's gonna make it, so you don't need to worry about it, okay?
So I go over to the bar, okay? Hey, so for this customer that just put that order in for that small cappuccino in a large cup, I just want to make sure that you are going to make a small cappuccino amount and leave space in there.
So he's like really particular and he wants foam all the way to the top. So we just normally do it for him.
And doing that is how we raise entitled customers. So he ordered a small cappuccino, extra dry, in a large cup. So make the cappuccino extra dry, but there is going to be space. Only put a small amount in there.
You don't need to be talking to her. It's fine. She can do it.
You know what? On second thought, I'm just going to make his drink, okay?
Okay.
She gets it. She makes it all the time, okay? You don't need to come over here and walk her through it.
Thank you, sir. I heard you. Okay, I make the drink. I'm steaming this shit extra fucking dry. I literally have to use 2 different pitchers because I'm making this bitch fucking extra dry because you're not sending it back.
Hey, before you ham it out, just make sure to put cinnamon on it because he's like really weird about cinnamon being on it, even though he never orders it. So just put it on top.
Okay. I put the cinnamon on it, okay? Here you go. Pretend this is a large cup.
Why would I want this? And put some cinnamon on it.
I did put cinnamon on your drink for you, sir.
And this is wrong. You didn't even fill it all the way up. This is why I didn't want you making my drink.
Yeah, so you ordered a small cappuccino in a large cup, so that is a small cappuccino in a large cup?
No, a small cappuccino in a large cup would come with foam filled all the way to the top. This is why I didn't want you making it. You don't even know what you're talking about.
I am more than aware on how to make a small cappuccino. That is exactly what I gave you, and it's extra dry. He's not done. Pretend there's a sleeve on this, takes the sleeve, fucking throws it on the fucking counter.
I don't know why you're giving me all this.
Okay, sir, you do not need to be rude to me. I gave you exactly what you asked for.
No, you didn't, because it's not filled all the way up. You don't even know how to do your job correctly.
Yeah, if it was to come filled all the way up, I would need to ring you up for a large. If you would like to go up and pay for the size difference, I would be more than happy to fill that up for you. At this point, also, I'm like, my hands are starting to shake because I'm so fucking mad. Also, we're fucking slammed. There's so many people standing around and they're all just like watching, like, eh.
Next time I'm coming in, you will not be making my drink.
And then he walked off. And then he sat in the lobby, and then I was like shaking so bad, and my eyes started watering because I'm like, this dumbass motherfucker is trying to scam us. Like, you're trying to get a large. So yeah, it caught me out of my element. Normally I love the back and forth with like Karens or like male Karens. But then I was like calling out a drink, my voice is like cracking, and I was like, I think I need to go to the back real quick. But yeah, this dude, he fucking pissed me off. And if he comes back and tries this shit, one, I'm making his drink again, because sir, you're not getting a large for free. And two, his ass is gonna get banned. I cannot believe the fucking audacity of some people. And I know I've made a lot of stories, but this has got to be in my top 3. And also, she is a known fucking scammer. She always comes in on some bullshit. What can I get for you?
Medium coffee.
Okay, anything else?
What pastries do you guys have?
We have everything that's displayed in the case right now.
Almond croissant.
We're all out of almond croissants. Anything else?
What do you guys have then?
We have everything that's displayed in the case. Where? I look at her. I look at the case that I'm sitting right next to. I look back at her because I'm like, are we really doing this right now?
What's this?
All of the pastries in there have signs in front of them, labeling what they are.
Never mind.
All right, it's going to be $3.15 for the coffee.
That's a little expensive.
That's the price.
Yeah, I'll just give you $3.
No, it's $3.15.
Hey.
She is snapping at the customer behind her in line.
Hey, get over here.
Me?
Yeah.
He walks up. I don't know why.
What do you want?
It's $3.15. I have $3, so
So you're asking me for money?
it's 15 cents.
So I hand him his change, and I tell her, I'll have your coffee right out, because I wanted to ring this poor man up.
No, I'm gonna wait here.
I do need to ring up this next customer. Your drink will be right out.
I'm gonna wait right here.
Okay, well, I'm going to have her grab your coffee. I'm in the middle of ringing right now, so I am going to need you to move so I can assist the next customer. She doesn't move. In fact, she starts walking like around the corner where I'm ringing her onto the floor. I ring this next guy up. She's about to be on the floor, so I'm like, I need to back this bitch up out of my space. Like, get behind the fucking counter.
I don't mind that.
What?
I'm gonna stay right here. I'm not moving.
I backed her up so quick. We have like a little chain. I put the fucking chain up. I'm like, what do you mean you're telling me you're not moving? Bitch, hate to break it to you, but you are.
What is up, Lash Techs and Lash Girlies? Today I will finally be telling the story on my horror lash client. The story you've all been waiting for, so buckle up. It's going to be a bit of a long one. I hope I don't have to do a part 2. But I do want to begin this video by saying that I've been a lash tech for 5 years now, and I have never ever made a video like this. And a part of me was hesitant to even make this video because I don't really like when people kind of bash their clients and things like that, but this was just an experience of mine that I had with a very terrible client, and I just wanted to share that experience. Again, 5 years, never had any issues with any clients, and I finally had my one. So I had a client one day come in on a Thursday, and this was about a week or two before my honeymoon, which was back in August, so this was a while ago. Still kind of fresh, but a while ago. She came in wanting a wispy hybrid set, but she had mentioned that she had always gotten classic sets, and she did drive a bit of ways to see me, about an hour, and I had asked her, like, because I'm always curious why people drive so far away to see lash techs, and normally, like, maybe they don't have many in their area, or the few in their area are always, like, booked, or they just don't like the quality. And she had told me that she was never really a fan of the lash techs in her area, that she thought a lot of them were beginners and didn't do really great work, which probably should have been a red flag. So I sometimes get a little nervous with my classic set girlies when they are wanting to go a bit bolder. Of course, you can always change the sets. Lash extensions, unfortunately, are not permanent, so you can always change them. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it was something that she wanted to get done because it was very drastically different from what she's used to getting. So I had mentioned and asked, you know, are you sure this is something you want to get? It's very different from a classic set. Like, a classic set is very natural. It gives like mascara. And she said, yes, I'm going on a cruise. She wanted them a little bit fuller for the cruise and things like that. And I was like, okay. And then she showed me 2 inspo photos, one of which were mine. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's pretty full. if you're okay with that, we kind of decided on the length, the style, and moved forward. So we ended up deciding on a pretty long wispy hybrid cat eye. So I do the set, and once we're done, you know, I showed her the set and she said she liked them. And then she paid and then she went on her way. And it's very normal for me to post and record client consultation videos and reaction videos. So I definitely had gotten her reaction saying that she did like them, which I had posted but is now currently deleted. Also, as I'm telling this story, I am debating on whether or not to share the videos, the screenshots, and things like that. I'll kind of decide towards the end of the video, but if you guys do want to see, I guess if I don't end up posting them, any screenshots or the set or etc., you guys can leave it down below in the comments and I can attach it. I can reply to the comment with the video. So later that night, I get the Hagerly text, and she basically sends an entire paragraph telling me that she had gotten home and that none of her family liked her lash extensions, which I was like, that's kind of interesting. They're not on their face, but okay, that's kind of interesting. And then she proceeded to say that she kind of was second guessing them, that she maybe thinks that they are maybe a little too full, which I truly still even wonder to this day if she actually even liked them or not, or if she was convinced otherwise by her family that they were just not it. Because I mean, again, it is very different from a classic set. Like I could, you know, picture them being a little freaked out if they were normally used to seeing her with the classic set and then her coming home with a wispy hybrid set. And then she proceeded to ask if I would charge her to remove them and redo them, which honestly, looking back, I really wish I would have just said, yes, I would. But being the good business owner that I am and kind-hearted person that I am, I felt just so bad that she had paid full price for a set that she kind of just ended up not liking, even though it was exactly what she asked for. I felt bad. So I actually even took this to a Lash group chat because I needed some advice from other Lash techs, because I was like, guys, I don't know what to do. This is the first time I've ever been in this situation. I don't really know what's the best way to go about this. Like, you know, I want to leave a good long-lasting impression on this client. I want her to leave happy and be happy with the set. You know, she's going on a cruise. Like, I was just thinking about her, and you know, I always want my clients to be happy, new, old, recurring, etc. So I was kind of just like, what do I do? So ended up coming up with two solutions. One, which was her coming back in the next day and me just removing a few lash extensions to make the set lighter. Or option number two was her coming in, waiving the removal fee, and then doing another full set for half off. So she of course chose the free option, which is totally fine. She was like, yeah, let's just maybe remove a few, etc. And I'm like, okay, perfect. Like, that is like absolutely no problem. So this was on a Thursday. I was like, okay, do you want to come in Friday or Saturday? And she's like, the cruise is Saturday, so let's do Friday. So I'm like, okay, we'll do Friday. Friday rolls around. She's like, actually, can we do Saturday? And I'm like, sure, that's fine. We can do Saturday. I offered 2 days. And then she said, can it be early though, because of the cruise? And I was like, early. My earliest appointment on a Saturday is 11 a.m., which I already had a client booked for. So in my head, I was like, well, again, me just being the kind-hearted person that I am and good business owner that I believe to be, I was like, okay, well, I already have somebody booked, which I should have just said, but I went ahead and took her at my non-business hours, which was earlier than that. So I believe I offered her 9, 9:30 or 10, because again, it should have been a quick fix. So I believe I saw her at about 9 a.m. So she comes in Saturday morning. Again, I do charge an after hours fee, but again, I was not going to do that because again, I just wanted to make her happy and wanted her to, you know, just get the set that she actually wanted and liked. So she comes in Saturday morning and straight away she's apologizing and she's kind of not really looking at me. She kind of walks in like with her head down and she's like, I'm so sorry, you know, this and that. And you know, there's been situations before where, you know, clients maybe needed to fix the next day or wanted to change something the next day, and it's absolutely no problem. I don't make situations weird or awkward or make people feel bad. Like, I'm very understanding, very empathetic. So I was like, no girl, like, you're fine. Like, don't worry. Like, I try to reassure them, like, hey, everything's okay. Like, don't you worry. And then Miss Ma'am proceeds to tell me, she was like, I am just so sorry, but I actually ripped off almost all the extensions off. And I was like, you did what? I'm sorry. You did what now? And I'm gonna be honest, had I known that she had ripped off the majority of her extensions, making it already a full set, looking back, right, is when I kind of realized this, not in the moment, because in the moment, when someone tells you that they do something like that, it kind of just like throws you off and you kind of don't really think that quick in the moment. And again, at the end of the day, the goal was just to make this girl happy with her set and have her go on her merry way. So looking back, I probably would have been like, I wish you would have told me this sooner, since now you removed the majority of your lash extensions. It is actually going to be a full set, and I am actually going to have to go with the second option that isn't free and charge you at least half of the full set, or the full set total. But she wasn't even coming in expecting to pay, so I just like felt like I needed to kind of like stay on my word with that. Like, you agreed to do this, even though you didn't hold up your end of the bargain. I just still want to follow through with, like, you know, giving you what you kind of asked for, which was just doing a quick little removal or removing a few extensions and making the set lighter. Okay, this video is actually getting pretty long, and I know I'm not going to finish the story, so I will have to unfortunately make a part 2. So if you guys want to continue hearing my lash horror story, go to part 2. What is up, you guys? Welcome to part 2 of the worst lash client I've ever had in my career. I've been lashing for 5 years, and I have actually never really had a client horror story until now. So if you want to watch part 1, it's the video right before this one, but just picking up where we left off. So she came in and, you know, basically told me that she had ripped off all her lash extensions. So I was like, okay, girl. So I was like, okay, well, let's see what damage was done. So she lays down, and she had basically removed the entire outer corner of her eyes and had a few left on the inner corners. So again, my goal at the end of the day was just to make Miss Ma'am happy. So when she came in, it was a very odd and very different experience. Again, I kind of knew the situation could seem awkward or be awkward, but I'm very much the kind to make people feel, you know, like, hey, it doesn't have to be awkward. Like, I'm not an awkward person. No need to be awkward. No need to make anything awkward. I understand that you maybe feel embarrassed or awkward, but like, no need, Miss Ma'am. So I was trying my very best not to make her feel awkward and to make her feel like as comfortable as possible. But she just kind of was apologizing a lot and feeling really bad that, you know, she did what she did and that we were just in this whole situation, period. But things got a little weird when she kind of like lay down and I started kind of asking her like what we should do or what she wanted, because she was very, you know, vocal through message telling me that, you know, she didn't like them and it just, you know, this and that and the other. So I was just like kind of confused that she kind of didn't come in here with that kind of same attitude and energy, like kind of just straight away telling me, you know, what it is that she wanted. Again, maybe she just was in the feels of her feeling bad and things like that. But I was like, I just need to know what to do now, because again, you clearly now know what you don't want, so what do you want? And the reason I say that was because I literally kind of had to get it out of her what she was wanting done today, because I was kind of like, well, at this point, we can go either way. I was like, I can either make this a hybrid set, which I kind of really didn't feel comfortable doing anymore because she obviously didn't like a hybrid set. And I was like, or we can just make this a classic set. I can remove the rest of the fans that you have on and we can make this a classic set and call it a day. Which I preferred to do because I was like, well, you normally get classic sets anyways. Let's just stick to what you know. Clearly you tried something and you didn't like it, so let's just do what you like. So I asked her various questions and she repeatedly said, I'm going to say yes just to be safe, which I don't understand why she needed to end every sentence saying that, but it was kind of weird. So for example, I would ask her, okay, do you want to do a classic or a hybrid set? She would say, I'm going to do a classic just to be safe. Okay. And then I would say, do we want to do the wispies or do we want to like not do a wispy set anymore? And she's like, I'm going to say no, just to be safe. Okay, do we want to do the cat eye or do we not want to do the cat eye? I'm going to say yes, just to be safe. So she kept saying this and it just wasn't making me even feel confident in what I was going to do or in knowing that she even knew what she wanted to do. I was like, do you even know what you want to do? Because I don't know why I was just kind of expecting her to kind of come in and say like, okay, this is what I want because this is what I didn't like. And that just like wasn't the case. So anyways, again, I didn't super feel confident, but I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, she's normally used to getting a classic set. So I feel like as long as I do some sort of a classic set around kind of what we discussed, hopefully she'll be happy. So I end up doing a short classic set, cat eye, that I didn't obviously take any photos of because that's not what we're here for today. We were just here originally to do a quick fix that turned into me just doing a full new set for free. But yeah, so we finished the set and she ends up telling me that she likes them a lot and that she is so sorry and that this is what she should have gotten the first time around, and just thanking me. And then she asked if I owe her anything. I mean, if she owes me anything. To which I proceed saying no, which obviously looking back now, I should have said actually yes. But again, she chose a free option. Even though she kind of messed everything up for herself, she removed them, made it a full set. I had given her 2 options. She went with the free option, was just to remove a few. She ended up removing damn near the entire set, coming in with needing a full new set. I still did not charge her for a full set out of the kindness of my heart because I just felt so bad. And I just wanted to make things right and I wanted her to be happy. So I don't charge her for the new set. So I feel like I practically did 2 sets for the price of 1. And she goes on her way and that was it. So I thought. So after this whole situation and interaction, I decided to do 2 things. 1 was block this client and 2 was ban her from my booking site. I am definitely not one to block people. But recently I have been because I'm like, I just want to protect my peace here. And this was just a very weird experience for me and not the best experience, even though I tried my very best to make this client happy. The vibes just felt so off with her and it was just like not good vibes, not good energy. And I was like, you know what? I just don't want to hear from this client. I don't want to kind of further service this client. So I'm just going to ban her from my booking site so that she no longer comes in again, which I have done in the past with other clients that I just feel like I no longer wish to service. And then I just kind of went the extra mile and blocked her because I was just kind of over and done with her in particular. Which I want to believe that is the reason why things went so south afterwards, was that I blocked her because I just couldn't have imagined any other reason as to why she would have done what she had did. And I truly do wonder to this day if I had not blocked her, would there have been a different outcome? So I have actually never had a review system for my business because I, have always been worried of having a bad review, as we as business owners are always nervous of, getting that one bad review. But I was like, I've serviced hundreds, if not thousands of people, and I have had so many incredible experiences and left so many people so happy with my services and so satisfied that once I opened up my salon, I was like, you know what? I want to do, I want to start having a review system. So I had made a, Google business and, so when I had made the Google business, I didn't verify my account. So I was a little confused as to how it all kind of worked. So I just kind of was like, I made it, but I didn't know if it was actually made. But I was like, I'll deal with this later. I'm too busy. I don't really understand this in this moment in time. I'll get around to doing it eventually. So it turns out that I actually did do things correctly, even though I'm still not verified, not really sure how to verify myself. Again, we're still figuring it out. But so anyways, later that night, actually a few hours shortly after I blocked her, I get an email saying that somebody left a 1-star review to my business. And lo and behold, it was Miss Ma'am. So she had left me a 1-star review and my jaw quite literally hit the floor. And when I read this review, I was like alone. And I, was very upset at the review because everything in the review to me was a lie. How she spoke on my character, how she spoke on my services, and how she spoke about the kind of just experience in general. And so I ended up actually going on my TikTok live and talking about it. And there was quite a bit of people on my live. And of course, I have such a great community on here, which I love every single one of you that, support me. And a lot of you guys mass reported the review and it ended up getting taken down like quickly. But I was still just so confused at why she had written the review that she had when I literally gave her 2 sets for the price of 1. I took her at my non-business hours. I really went above and beyond to try to make her happy and give her the set that she wanted. I literally gave her a free set just because she didn't like the first initial set that she got that she had asked for. that I literally, like, when I show you guys, if you guys want to see him, the set that I did on her versus the inspo pics, like, nailed it on the head. I was just so confused. And the only reason I could think that she wrote that review was because I blocked her. She was just upset that I blocked her. I don't know if she was going to try to reach out to me again and say something else. I don't really know. But yeah, so. But I was just happy it got taken down because I was like, wow, like, not you actually trying to come for my business and, you know, make me look bad when, again, like, I really do go above and beyond for my clients, and I try really, really hard to be a great business owner and a great just person in general. So yeah, that was kind of my really, really terrible lash client experience. And the story actually doesn't end here. Plot twist, there is actually a part 3. So go to part 3. Welcome to part 3. Unfortunately, there is a third part to my lash horror client story. So yes, because I thought, you know, that this situation was all done and dealt with, and it was not. So as I mentioned in part 1, you can watch part 1 and 2, they're right before this video. This whole situation went down about a month ago. It's already been like, I want to say over a month now, or a month ago. I thought it was like 2 months. I don't even know how long it's been. This happened like a week or two before we went to our honeymoon back in August. And anyways, so the reason there is a part 3 is because I woke up, it's now been 2 weeks since this kind of part 2 happened. 2 weeks ago, I woke up to some comments on the Instagram, no, not the Instagram, the TikTok video I posted. So again, with all my new clients, I post a client consultation video and a client reaction video. So I had a few comments from her big sister on her TikTok video. So, mind you, in the TikTok video, it was just the client reaction. So it was just literally her little sister's reaction. And so out of the woodwork, her big sister, and this like makes me wonder, like, I'm like, okay, I highly doubt this video landed on your For You page. I feel like she had to have gone looking for it, because I'm like, how did you find not only my TikTok one? I guess I'm not that hard to find, but what, like, how, right? How did this all transpire? Beats me. But she found her sister's video and commented on it. She left me 4 or 5 comments, literally out of the fucking woodwork. So I am going to actually insert those comments here. Let's read the comments, shall we? This is my sister. She's a literal teenager who takes medication for her social anxiety. That is why she didn't tell you what we all told her. And don't forget to mention she offered in person to pay you to redo them, so what's with the hate? And then she says, and she always gets her lashes done, whatever, no prob, but this was a major yikes for everyone. And her last comment was, also, you're a grown woman. She didn't like your lashes. How are you stressed about this? Just ... move on. Like a professional. I agree. We should move on. So why are you commenting on my post over a month since this has happened? So I will first say that having your sister come to your rescue, which there's nothing to rescue you from, Miss Ma'am, because I literally did absolutely nothing but try to make you happy and accommodate you the best that I could and give you the best service, and, you know, literally went out of my way to help you get a set that you actually were happy with, which clearly you're just an unhappy person and, you know, nothing is good enough for you. But first of all, I'm not stressed. We're good over here. We've moved on. You guys are the one redigging this up and re-shedding light on the situation when it was already done and dealt with. And going back to these comments, like, first of all, I don't know what hate she's talking about, because there was literally no hate in that video. It was literally just her reaction, saying how much she actually liked the lashes. And then this comment up here saying she always gets her lashes done, whatever, no problem, but this was a major yikes for everyone. I literally gave your sister exactly what she asked for. So yikes to who, bitch? And why do you guys care so much about what's not on your face? And I'm like, did they even watch this video? I'm like, your little sister literally said in the video how much she liked the lashes. So I'm just like, none of this is making any sense. And so I was like, Miss Ma'am, I've moved on. I'm not dealing with you. I'm like, I am not re-entering myself into this drama, because I don't even know why the fuck there's drama to begin with. Like, this is just getting crazy at this point. So I just block her. And I low-key regret it because now I have kind of no way to kind of, you know, say anything to them. And I kind of wish I just had said something and responded. But I didn't. So I just blocked her. And then shortly after, the client herself decided to find the video or, you know, enter the group chat and left a comment herself. And all she said was, "Hi, this is me, unprofessional and weird." And then I just blocked her, and I regret doing that. And I also deleted this video, so if you guys are going to try to find it, it doesn't exist anymore. It is no longer up. So yeah. So after the client left that comment, I just decided to block her. And then obviously, looking back now, I kind of regret it because I kind of was like, I should have said something. I really should have, because she really, really, really wanted a reaction from me. And I just honestly didn't care to give her one. I gave her so much grace the first time around when she left the first bad review on my Google. And I was like, you know what? It's just not worth it to me. I won in the end. I was like, the Google review got taken down. We are all good to go. And then now they decided to kind of dig up this whole situation, shed light on it all over again. And she is now, for the second time around, trying to, I don't even know what her fucking goal is at this point. And I just felt like she is trying to mess with my business, which is why I'm bringing it to social media, because I'm like, no, Miss Ma'am, that is one thing that you aren't going to do. That is one thing I will not stand for. And that is something that I will speak on. And it kind of sucks because I feel like us as business owners really, really are kind of taught to kind of like keep quiet, you know, keep our mouths shut, not really say anything, not do stuff like this because it just doesn't really look good. And, you know, I can agree this doesn't look great to a certain extent, but you know, I just feel like I'm just sharing my experience, and I am all for sharing experiences. I have not talked shit. I have not thrown any shade. I have not said her name, A, B, C, D, F, G. You know, I've been, you know, very cordial about the situation. I've given her grace. But now I just want to share my story because this is just crazy. So unfortunately, the story doesn't end here just yet. Miss Ma'am wants her voice heard, and she wants it heard so bad. And she really wants to do her big one on my business. So what did Miss Ma'am decide to do? You guessed it, leave another Google review. Yeah, which I did not know about because for some reason Google didn't feel the need to inform me, like it did the first time around, where I got an email sent that somebody had left a 1-star review. I was on a TikTok live and we were talking about the situation, and somebody had brought it up and brought it to my attention that they were like, "Hey, the review's still up." And I was like, no, it got taken down, like when it happened over a month ago. And they were like, well, it either didn't get taken down or she wrote a new review. And I was like, why didn't I think that she would do that a second time? Because Miss Ma'am has got all the time in the world. She must not have a thing going on, because if you really, really have that much time on your hands to harass somebody, kind of have this weird obsession with trying to get my attention or trying to get a reaction from me. I mean, yeah, why didn't I think that she would actually go again and leave another review? I don't know. I don't know. So I go to Google. I don't even think I read the entire review. I think I read bits and pieces. This man decided to write her big one, a big novel, a story, if you may, call it what you will. Just left me another review, another 1-star review. And it was like like the day that I saw it, it was written like 5 days ago, which was when she had originally had her sister comment on my stuff and when she commented on my stuff. So yeah. So where the story ends is I reported it. I've had my amazing group of girls on TikTok report the review to try to get it taken down as well. Unfortunately, I guess because it wasn't reported the day that it was made, or I'm not really sure how Google reviews work, but it has not been taken down yet. And, you know, I know people don't really Google stuff much anymore. A lot of people find me through Instagram and TikTok, so I know it won't affect me that badly, but it just does annoy me that the very first time that I finally decide to have a review system for my business, and I've had so many amazing clients, again, I've lashed hundreds, if not thousands of people and had so many great experiences, that the one time that I finally decide to do a review system, that I get this kind of a client. But yeah, that is where this story ends. Feel free to leave your comments, questions, concerns down below. Yeah, I really don't believe I was in the wrong in this situation, and I don't even know why she is acting out in this way. It's just like the behavior is kind of crazy to me. and it's just something I've never dealt with before in my 5 years of being in this career. But yeah, I feel at peace saying my experience and telling my story. And yeah, hopefully we can actually move forward from here on out. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much, if you made it this far, for watching all the videos, and I appreciate all the love and support from all my supporters. And we're still trying to get that review taken down, so hopefully it does get taken down, because that's some bullshit. This is some bullshit, bro. But anyways, I hope you guys were entertained at least with this very long story time. And yeah, hopefully this doesn't happen again.
Hey, Samantha. Yeah, what's up? So some lady just called for a party of 19. She said they're going to be here in like 20 minutes, and she refused to be transferred to a host, and I couldn't get any information out of her. All she said was that it's a party of 19 under the last name of Smith, and they'll be there in like 20 minutes, and then she hung up the phone. We can't accommodate that. It's a Friday night. We're already on a 2.5 hour wait. We don't do reservations. Like, we can't handle that. I know, I'm sorry. I tried to get her to transfer and to get more information out of her, but she just refused and hung up the phone, so I don't even have access to the phone number. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to wait till they get here, because there's no way that we could even accommodate that anyway. We can't push all of our call-aheads back by 2 hours to accommodate a party of 19. So, I mean, we don't have the phone number, so I guess we're just gonna have to wait until they get here. 20 minutes later. Hi, my name's Karen Smith. I had a call-ahead reservation for a party of 19. Hi, yeah, so unfortunately we wouldn't be able to accommodate a party of 19 for tonight. When you had called, you spoke to a to-go specialist. She tried to have you transferred. She tried to get information out of you to even put you on the books for tonight, but you refused and hung up, and so we can't accommodate that. Even our small parties, like parties of 2 and 4, are already on like an 1.5 hour wait right now. So in order to get you guys in right now, you would be waiting probably about 2.5 hours. And it's already 6:30. Okay, but I called. Like, I had a call ahead. Yeah, so you don't have a call ahead. You might have called the restaurant, but you're not in our books. When you spoke to the to-go specialist, she tried to have you transferred to one of us, and when you refused, she tried to get information out of you herself. You refused, you hung up the phone. We can't physically book a call ahead without certain information. It will not go into our system, and you refuse to provide us with that. So at that point, we can't do anything about getting you into our system, so we wouldn't be able to accommodate you. But I called the restaurant. Like, can we just wait for a table then? Can't you just push everybody else back and just seat us? I mean, we're a large party, so don't we like have priority over everybody else? So to book a call ahead or to speak to someone about seating, you have to speak to a host. You refuse to be transferred, I can't do anything about that. Now, long story short, we're not gonna push everybody else back. We're not gonna push, 50 families back from dining with us tonight because you failed to be patient enough and have the common decency to be transferred to the person that you needed to speak to get sat tonight. So you can wait until your turn and we can get you on the wait list now, which is going to be, like I said, like that 2.5, 3 hours until we can get you sat, or you can leave. Okay, get me your manager. Hi, I'm the manager. How can I help you? Well, we called the restaurant and spoke to somebody and tried to get a call ahead, but they didn't put us in, even though I called. And we have a party of 19. We're trying to just eat, and your hostess is refusing to seat us. So I know that she explained this to you because I was listening this whole time, trying to let her handle the situation, because she was doing a great job at it, but you refused to listen. So we can't seat you because it's a Friday night. You have 50 parties before you. We're not going to be able to seat you now. She was exactly right. You can wait the 2.5 hours, or you can go somewhere else. You didn't make a call ahead because you didn't speak to a host, and you refused to give them information. So they can't do anything with a name and how many people. They need to have a phone number, and she would have told you on the phone if you spoke to a host that it still would be that 2.5 hours. It's not a reservation, it's a call ahead, letting us know that you're going to be there, not guaranteeing you a spot when you walk in. There's a difference. Well, are you the general manager? No, I am not. Let me go grab him for you. Hi, I'm the general manager. How can I help you? Well, I'm sure that you've been briefed by everyone else about what's going on here. Nobody's seating us, even though we called the restaurant, and we want to get sat now. Not in 2.5 hours. You know what? You're a large party. I'm sure that you've had a long day. Let me go ahead and push everybody else back and get you sat. Thank God, somebody that's finally listening. So, moral of the story, we pushed everyone else back to seat this large party. And keep in mind, when you have 19 people, that's a lot of individual tables that we could have had people sat at, that we pushed everyone else back just to seat these people who didn't actually have a call ahead and were literally just a walk-in. Now keep in mind, in these stories I give a little bit more context than what I actually said to the customer, because you need to know the context, even if I didn't tell it specifically to her. So it wasn't that long-winded in the actual interaction, but you guys needed to know the context. But that's another one of my annoying stories.
One of the most asked questions that I get as a hairstylist is like, what is my most worst horrific client experience I've ever had? And buddy, do I have a story for you, because I ended up in therapy after mine. So let's set the scene. Okay, I'm fresh out of school, brand new at the salon. I'm on commission, so I'm taking all the phone calls, trying to get new clients, and all of a sudden, it's a random Tuesday, and the phone rings. And it's this lady, she wants on the same day for highlights. And I'm like, well, I can't get you in today, but I can get you in tomorrow. We get her on the books for the next day, which was a Wednesday, to come in and get her highlights. I also want to preface by saying there was so much miscommunication on both sides. As a professional, I take the blame. It was just not a good time, but we'll get to that. I also want to say that I ignored so many red flags leading up to this appointment. One of the red flags being, the morning of this appointment, I swear God did not want me to take this client. He was trying to tell me, turn your car around and go home, because there was a very bad accident right in front of the salon that morning, and the road was shut down. Nobody could get to the salon, so I called to let her know, don't head up yet because you're gonna be stuck in traffic. And I was stuck in traffic for over 2 hours, and she called me every 10 minutes on the dot to see exactly if I had moved in traffic at all or not. Every 10 minutes for 2 hours. I kid you not. But you know what? I was like, yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm still gonna do her hair. Y'all it's gonna be fine. It was not fine. And I got traffic. She came in, and here's what happened. So she comes in. We have a consultation. She proceeds to tell me, okay, here's where miscommunication was on her part. That all her hair was virgin besides the grown out blonde. There was literally no color, no nothing. I asked her several times, is there any color in your hair? She told me no. As a new stylist, here's where I messed up. I did not do a test strand. I could not spot that there was any color in her hair, and me being told that there was no color in her hair, I didn't question it, and I should have. I very much should have. I still have the picture of her before, and I will insert that now. So here's her before picture. At this time, I was so naive. I believed every word that she said, that there was no color in her hair. I solely believed that I was working with virgin hair, was just grown out blonde. With me looking at this now, I can spot this breakage and see there's definitely damage in here. Something is going on, and I would have taken a completely different route if this happened today. But at that time, I did not know enough to not believe her. And that was where I set myself up for failure. I also want to keep in mind that this is why it's so important that you don't lie to your stylist, because it did come out later. She knew that there was color in her hair and lied about it, and we will get to that later, but I just want to preface by saying don't lie to your stylist, because that is where things can go so terribly wrong. Anyways, I start foiling for a full baby light, and all is going fine until I'm checking the foils in the back, and I realize that there was a bright red band. I will insert a photo. As I'm opening foils, it's a huge bright red band that lifted through, and I was like, what the heck is this? And at this point, all was fine, literally, but just besides that band. And so I'm like, okay, because the rest of her hair was ready to be pulled. So I went to the bowl and I washed everything out, and I was like, I can just maybe put some whitener on it and try to bump it out the best that I can. And then if we have to, we will spot tone. But at that moment, I was like, you're not gonna be heavy blonde to the scalp what you wanted. And she did not want to hear that. She was very upset about that, and very I want to be platinum blonde today. So I finished foiling everywhere, and I'm trying to a wet type of balayage thing on the band as she's processing, just trying to bump it out and see what I can do. And that was where I messed up heavily. So here is the rundown of everything that happened. So as I'm wet balayaging this band to try to, bump it, her hair starts snapping off at the band. this point, it's snapping off the band. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I was told it was virgin, you know, except for the grown out blonde. Like, I was not expecting this. Like, I don't know what to do. And I'm starting to panic at this point because it's, I just, like, damaged her hair and I felt horrible about it, obviously. She proceeds to tell me that her old salon was trying to require her to have a waiver signed in order for her to come back to be blonde again. And at that moment, I was like, what? Like, I wasn't putting two and two together to understand that they had fried her hair. They did a color melt with a permanent shadow root. And so they basically put permanent color over the damage that was caused. And she, again, was mad because she wanted to be platinum blonde, right? And so they told her, in order for us to give you platinum blonde, you have to sign a legal waiver saying that you cannot sue us whenever your hair is damaged, because they knew that that would happen. Instead of going back to them after being told this, she comes to me and tells me that her hair is virgin. At this point, I'm in shambles because I'm like, I don't know what to do from here. Like, her hair just got fried. Like, it was like falling out. I was heavily panicking. Other stylists are starting to step in that are more experienced to try to like help me and like take over and like see what we can do to like assess the situation. She knows her hair is like literally breaking off, and she is literally like pure hatred for me. I have never had somebody be so like just, I don't even know how to describe it. She was like, do not come near me, you cannot touch me anymore, would not let me take a step forward towards her. She was screaming at me, throwing a fit in the middle of the salon. Everybody's gathering around watching her. She's like, I need to speak to your manager right now. So I run to the back, grab my owner, and I am so thankful at that time that the owner backed me up and was like, we will make this right. Like, you know, like, it was just one big miscommunication, and so we were trying to offer free products, and she's like, you cannot touch me anymore, like, don't even come near me, like, back away, like, just being so, like, I'm like, I don't even, there's no words for it. At this point, I'm like, well, you can't leave like this, so we talked her into the color melt, and she's just very upset, and, like, when I say her behavior was strange, like, whenever I brought her back to the bowl, I wasn't even touching her, and she was screaming, ow, 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 you're hurting me, like, basically, like, trying to make people in the salon think that I was, like, intentionally, like, inflicting pain on her. And I wasn't even touching her. Like, would not even let me touch her without her screaming out. Half the time that she was doing it, the comb wasn't even touching her head. And so, I don't know. That part to me was very odd. Needless to say, we did a color melt. It blended beautifully. It toned really beautifully. Obviously, it was heavily damaged, but, like, it all melted together just fine. At this point, there was like 4 stylists in total working on this, just like trying to like help her and like console her and then like get her out of the chair, you know, and get her on her way. And at this, she wasn't having it. She was still screaming at me, wouldn't want me to touch her. She eventually, she was like trying to check out, and I was like, I don't want your money. Like, I just, you know, like, it's free, like, leave, like, your hair is damaged, I don't want to take your money for this. And she was like, well, I'm not the type of person to not pay for a service, and then took a $100 bill out of her pocket and threw it in my face. And then she turned around and was like, you'll hear from my lawyer. And then she stormed out, got in her truck, did a burnout in the parking lot, and then sped off with her tires squealing down the street. I kid you not. I never heard from her lawyer, ever. I also want to say that traumatized me so bad to the point that I could not ever take new clients again without panic attacks, and I still have these panic attacks till this day. Again, miscommunication on both sides. I take heavily blame on a lot of it. It was a horrible day, and I had to go to therapy for a very long time because of that. So, yeah, that is my traumatizing story, and yes, it was very traumatizing.
What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry? I'll go first.
I have been looking for this sound forever to finally share my truth. So excuse the fact that I look busted right now, but it's time. So when I was in high school, I did running start and also did cheer. And so I had a lot of fees to pay, like a lot. And my parents were always so supportive of me doing it, but they were like, if you're going to do these activities, like, you need to put in your own money, which was never a problem with me. So I decided to get a job at Starbucks. But because I had cheer and classes, I literally had like barely any time to work, so I'd have to work really early in the morning. But really early in the morning, we never had as many customers as we did like during rush hour. And so I would work in the window by myself a lot. This lady pulls up and she already just has this really negative energy to her. And I say, hi, like, good morning, like, what can I get started for you? And she rolls her eyes. And she's like, I just need my morning coffee. And I'm like, okay, like, what exactly is your morning coffee, ma'am? and she orders a Frappuccino. I am so sorry if you love Frappuccinos, but if it is 5 o'clock in the morning and you're ordering a Frappuccino and you're a grown-ass woman, I'm gonna judge you because I am a hater before I'm a human. And I'm like, can I get anything else for you? Like in my super annoying customer service voice. And she's like, no, but can I get a cherry on top of my Frappuccino? And I'm like, what? And she's like, a cherry. And like, I'm like, what? And I'm like, we don't have cherries. And she just blows up. And she's like, I've been to multiple Starbucks and they've always put a cherry on top of my Frappuccino. Like, this has never been an issue. And I'm like, okay, well, we don't have them here. Sorry, queen. And she informs me that she will pull up to the window and we can solve the problem up there. And I'm like, great, see you at the window. So she just starts going off at the window and is so upset. So I pull over my manager and I'm like, hey, this lady would love a cherry on top of her Frappuccino. And my manager is like, we don't have cherries. And I'm like, of course we don't, because this isn't fucking Sonic. This is Starbucks. And so then I just try to like continue the conversation and kind of diffuse her anger. And I'm like, your total is going to be like $5. Here's your Frappuccino. And I just hand it to her before she pays because I'm just trying to calm her down and give her her morning coffee. And she looks at me and she says, you're lucky you're semi-pretty because you obviously don't fucking have a brain, and throws the Frappuccino through the fucking window. First off, semi-pretty. Second off, I fucking graduated college 2 years early and am now modeling, bitch, so suck it.
Y'all want to hear about a customer experience that put me on Ozempic? I'm the manager at my Crumble, so I deal with a lot of difficult customers. Like, it's almost my specialty. I swear that they sit in their homes and they think, oh, I bet that purple pink hair is working at Crumble right now. I should go and torment her. Whatever. But this is the one that is burned into my brain. This one I will never forget. So this took place right after we had like 2 hurricanes back to back. And so literally the entire road that we're on, all of those businesses, those restaurants, fast food places, shops, all of that were shut down because nobody had power. But of course, Crumble is completely no understanding of our situation at all. As long as corporate can work, we can too. So, of course, we're open, and what does everyone do? When they don't have power, they get out, they want to go get food, and they want to go to any place that has power. And Crumble, being one of the only places on one of the busiest roads in my area, everyone is showing up to Crumble. It was just a lot. And on top of that, all of our iPads, our ordering stuff, our tickets, everything was shutting down because the Wi-Fi was down, the internet kept going out. I mean, you would think with like everybody else's power out, these customers would be like more understanding, but not this one lady. So one thing, which I can understand why this would upset people, but she just took it to a whole new level. If you have any like card payment failures, then your order won't go through, which makes sense, but your order won't go through, but it'll still take the money out of your account. However, within like 2 to 4 days, the money will go back into your account. Because if you open your eyeballs that God gave us a set of, then you will see in your bank that it says pending. It doesn't say complete. It doesn't say processed. It says pending charge. So although your numbers went down, you still have the money. You're about to get it back. So sit down and relax. So this lady is trying to order a cookie and her card fails at first. And she goes, oh, wait, hold on. Let me add money to this card. So she adds money and then they try to redo the order and then it doesn't go through. But shocker, shocker, it took the money out of her account. She's getting all mad. And so I have to go over and I'm trying to talk to her. And I'm like, yes, I'm sorry. This happens sometimes. Like, the money's going to go back into your account. And she goes, well, can I have my cookies? And I said, well, if you get your money back, like, we can't give you the cookies because then we would be out of money. Also, this is only like 2 cookies and I don't really care. Like, had she been a little bit nicer, I would have maybe like give it to her just to like settle things down, but she was insane. So she's not having it. She's cussing me out in front of a lobby full of people, mind you. Like I said, everyone is there. So this lobby is completely full. It was so embarrassing. Literally half the lobby were recording it. Recording it. Do you know how bad a situation has to be for someone to be recording it? Embarrassing. I have never had this happen in my life. At some point, she literally calls me a fat ass. Are you joking? Are you joking? Are you joking? I'm not one to body shame, but let's go bar for bar, because why is your third stomach resting on my countertop and I'm just here trying to do my job? Ain't no way you spent your last $5 on a cookie and you're calling me fat. Let me go to the back, grab you a mirror so you can see yourself, because there is no way you're going to sit here and comment on my weight when you're the one begging for 800 calories. There's no way. And she kept like getting closer to me and closer to me, and she was staring at her warmers. God, she was probably salivating by the minute. And she's like, you could just give me one right now. You could just give me one right now. Honestly, I don't even care if you paid for half of a cookie. Just because you're acting like this, you don't get it. Okay, do you think I'm gonna reward your bad behavior? No. If you showed a little bit more decorum, kindness, calmness, then maybe we could work something out. But don't sit here, call me a fat ass, cuss me out, cuss out my coworkers. And all I could do, I was literally shaking, because what am I supposed to do? This woman, big woman, is in my face screaming at me, and so I'm kind of like shaking a little bit. I'm not sure what to do. I'm trying to fix the iPad at the same time. And then she's just making fun of me. She's like, oh, look at you over here twiddling your thumbs. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. So we give her the owner's name and number. She's like, well, I'm going to be contacting him. Yeah, I figured. But again, what do you think is going to happen? Like, do you really think our owner, who I've worked with for 3 years, is going to take your side over mine? My name is printed on the front door. I'm the only manager at this store, and you think that he's going to side with you who can't afford a $5 cookie? Let's be for real. What was the worst part about it was once she's like finally trying to get a hold of the owner, which I knew he wasn't going to pick up, but I'm trying to take somebody else's order, and I'm like, okay, what can I get for you guys? And they were like, we have the video if you need it. And then I just started crying. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. Now, oh, I didn't mean it. But now, I just started crying in front of this lady. She got what she wanted. I literally can't. Well, one other thing that was embarrassing for her was when she came into the store, she was with like her mom or her friend or something. And while she's screaming at me, her friend or whoever is like, maybe they really can't do anything. Like, maybe they can't. And she was ignoring her friend, kept screaming at me, and her friend was so embarrassed that she left the store. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing yourself. Get out of my face. Anyway, shortly after that, got on Ozempic, and I've lost like nearly 50 pounds, so out of my face.
Y'all, the cops are here. I bet you I'm filming. Cops here? Yeah. Fuck. Okay, I'm back. So basically what just happened was this lady comes up and like gets the manager or something. I don't even remember why he came out, and she's like, I'm trying to go to the bathroom, but somebody's been in there for like 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, well, there's not really like much we can do because she's probably like going to the bathroom. Like, I can't do anything about it. Oh my God, there's the cops. Then like she waits like another 10 minutes, and then she wants one of us to go with her to the bathroom. I was like, we can't help you go in the bathroom. Like, I'm not gonna put me or my staff at risk because you keep trying to go in, like, because you have to pee. So then the lady gives up and leaves, but then I start getting curious, like, okay, who is in the bathroom? So I make like a mental note of the time. And then finally like 10 minutes pass, I'm like, okay, let me go check the bathroom and see if it's empty. So I walk out and it says vacant. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like, nobody's in there, but let me make sure that like the bathroom isn't destroyed, because sometimes people like fucking blow it up and like shit all over the ground. So I open the door up, and there's a lady sitting there like on the toilet. She's got like her pants all the way at her ankles. She has her shirt pulled up, and she's just like swaying. And she seems like very unfazed by the fact that it's like a single thing, like a single bathroom. She's like unfazed, but then I just open the door. But I'm like, oh my God, so sorry. And she's just like staring at the wall. And so I closed the door, but then I'm like, okay, so I'm now the third person in 30 minutes who's opened the door because we've all tried to go to the bathroom and it's not locked. Like, she still hasn't gotten up and locked it. So then I go inside, I'm like asking my team, like, did we see what this lady, what she looked like? And one of my baristas is like, yeah, she came in here, she was like talking to the walls, like, I don't know I don't know if she's on drugs or something. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? Like, I don't know. So one of the people that was sitting in the lobby, she was like, call non-emergency. So then I was like, okay, should I call non-emergency? I don't know. Do I even call the cops? I was like, do you think that's too much? And she was like, no, like, just in case. So I didn't know what to do. Like, I was like, well, I don't want to call the cops and like get her in trouble, like if she's just like, you know, shitting on the toilet. But the fact that like she came in, she was like talking to herself, she was talking to the walls, like, and then she just seemed so out of it. I was like, I feel like I need to call just like a wellness check on her. And so I called non-emergency, and then non-emergency like didn't pick up. So then I was like, okay. So then I got transferred to like, I don't know who I got transferred to, but I was like, look, this isn't an emergency. I'm just calling because like I'm concerned. There's been somebody now. At this point, she was in the bathroom for 40 minutes. Like, I'm getting nervous. You're not responding to people. Like, I don't know if she's on drugs. I don't know if she's just having an episode, like, but I think she should be like checked, you know? So then, yeah, we called the cops, but they weren't coming. So I was like, I'm just gonna fucking go on lunch. And then literally the second I come on lunch, the first clip is Bethany coming out to get me because the cops showed up. So the cops got here and I told them the same thing. Like, I don't think she's doing anything illegal. I'm just worried about her. Like, 40 minutes and you're just like out of it. So they get her out and she's just screaming. And then I was watching like right back here in my mirror because I came back to sit in my car, and they were like, you need to get off the property. And she was just staring into space, like ignoring them. I feel bad. Like, I do feel bad, but I don't know. Like, I'm like, should I have not called the cops? But also, I want to make sure she was fine. Also, we need our bathroom. So, yeah, that's my day.